Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where horsepower, tire management, and commitment are about to collide under the sun and heat. Tonight, the NASCAR Trucks take on one of the fastest and most demanding mile-and-a-half tracks on the calendar. With multiple grooves, aggressive restarts, and a long runoff tire fall-off, all waiting to play a role. There's nowhere to hide tonight. Track position will be critical. Pit strategy could change everything, and one mistake can send a contender straight to the back. It's time to go racing at Charlotte, but let's take a look at the highlights from 2 weeks ago. Green is in the air, powered by Re-Gadget, and it's going to be a good start for Aaron Brown and Peter Helm for us as we finish up the stage. It will be the wrap-up there, and the yellow flag gets called. Whoa, a big slip up in the background between the 4 and the 8. Hawthorne and Young come together. As green flag is in the air, the 7 takes off like a rocket ship with Morgan Stringer in tow. A little bit squirrely in the background, and then that'll be Aiden Hawthorne with an incident.
He's got Luke Byrne right behind him. Luke Byrne, who had severe damage, who was trailing at the back of the pack, now back in front in P3. Is this Luke Byrne's time to shine? When taking stage number 2, 10 points to Peter Helmbro, 9 points for Marcus Hagman. Jason Trocchi decides to get numbered. Jason Trocchi gets P3 and absolute chaos.
Green, and Peter Helmbro takes off like the rocket ship that he is. For the first 3, Luke, being a little stubborn though, falls back behind Ted Edwards as the number 80 catches back up to P5 where he started out this event. Big hip check, and that turns into a spin at turn 1, and that'll be the first big one of the race.
So it looks like anybody can win. 5 cars driving down the pit lane. P8 Hawthorne as well going into the pits. So
Marcus Hagman, Ted Edwards, Peter Helmbro, and Tom Bryant are the quattro in the lead of this event.
These 4 drivers have been putting everything into winning the race, and that leading pack come in.
And they're coming around the first corner now with 4 laps left to go. How do they all blend together now?
Number 77 of Hagman and Helmbro taking the inside lane with P1 and P2. Tom Bryant starting there into second position just for a second on the outside, trying to make the slingshot work, but I think it's a bit too late for that. Hagman holding out in front. Tom Bryant making one last effort to get in front. Helmbro pushing Hagman up ahead, and it's Marcus Hagman, the veteran, the winner of previous exhibition races, who will take P1 here at Daytona.
And welcome back, folks. Joined with me, Sagar Bakshi, in the booth is going to be none other than Sai Ramesh. Sai, how are you doing tonight?
Doing really well, Sagar. Thank you so much for having me. As always, it's a pleasure to commentate alongside you. Those highlights just show how exciting this truck series is going to be. It was an amazing first race. I can't wait to get into the action tonight.
Absolutely. And with even more drivers on the field than last week or 2 weeks ago, it's going to be double the excitement. Let's take a look at those standings now, shall we? Taking a look at the calendar now, it's Daytona that we started off with, then Charlotte, then Indy, Bristol, Tejas, Iowa City. Following that will be the Glen, Vegas, Talladega, and Homestead. What a lineup, Cy. What a lineup.
It's a brilliant variety of racetracks. Each one is so unique. I mean, this first half is already super exciting. Charlotte's going to be a unique challenge, something very different from Daytona. But I mean, anything for the rest of this year is amazing. I'm looking forward to each one.
Well, we have to get through this one before we can get through any other event. Charlotte, the NASCAR Trucks, 167 laps with 2 stage breaks in the middle of it. Sai, what do you think about that?
The interesting thing about Charlotte is it's the polar opposite of what you could have in Daytona in terms of the sort of challenge you need to face through the race. Daytona is a pure drafting challenge. It's about choosing the right pack and choosing the right strategy while sticking with that pack. Charlotte is completely different. Charlotte, you can afford to sometimes lose that drafting train, but if you overdrive your front tires, it's going to cost you big time. We've had a chat with the drivers. We know that tires are not particularly strong towards the end of the stage, so it's going to be very interesting to see who decides to roll the dice and actually stay out and not change tires. That's going to be the determining factor here, and the only way we'll know is if we watch how it pans out.
Indeed. Let's give a big shout out and thanks to our title sponsor, Regadget. Make sure you shop.regadget.com and use code INIT to get yourself one of these amazing computers. From gaming to tech to PC use at home, they have everything you can imagine. Brand new and refurbished goods and services. Make sure you check out Regadget for their Phoenix bundle. $1,500 out the door will get you set up and ready to engage in races like tonight. And thank you to all of our sponsors as well, including AK Esports, Roku, eClutch, and Bubba Myers. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results for the qualifying session, shall we, Sai?
Yeah, let's see how the drivers have arranged themselves for this race. Michael S. Tucker, new driver, we haven't seen him. He wasn't there in the first round. He takes pole position. Marcus Hagman, the winner of last time, takes P2. Thomas Coonan, another new driver for this series, takes P3 to lock out the top 3. The rest of the drivers, of course, have been involved in a lot of battles. Jason Tokey, Tom Bryant, Travis Lona is another new driver on the grid, taking the next 3 spots. Jordan Anthony Higgins, Matthew Fenstermacher, a driver who spent a lot of time battling mid-pack, has found his way firmly in the upper half of this grid in P8. Morgan Stringer and Lucas Montresor take up the top 10 starting positions.
John Rousseau, Katharina Geisler, Pedro Pereira, Javi Sierra, Luke Burns, Lee Winters, Ted Edwards, and Martin J. Young round out the 18 participants taking to the grid tonight. And what a show this is about to be. And of course, let's take a look at our starting grid as we get ready to rumble, folks. Michael S. Tucker and Marcus Hagman are on that first row. Starting on the second is going to be Thomas Coonan and Jason Chalky. Following that on the third row will be Tom Bryant and Travis Lonis. On row number 4, Jordan Higgins and Matthew Fassenmacher. Row number 5 for Morgan Stringer and Lucas Montresor. John Rousseau and Katharina Geisler. And Pedro Pereira and Javi Sierra. Row number 8 for Luke Byrne and Lee Winters. Ted Edwards and Martin J. Young on row number 9. What a grid of drivers we have ready to take over the field tonight.
Yeah, 18 drivers around a 1.5 mile racetrack. This is going to be fun. And, there's not as much space as Daytona. The track width might be very similar, but you have much more narrower turns. You have a lot more banking. It's a lot more dangerous if you clip that apron or you go down below the white line, especially while you're taking a corner. So, yeah, you have a lot of considerations to pan out and calculate in your mind as you make your maneuvers around this racetrack.
Lots of maneuvers, lots of opportunities for the field, but who's going to come out on top is the new question. I hate to say it, but this might be the first time Marcus Hagman might have to fight early on in the stints because we have so many competitors ready to go wheel to wheel tonight.
We have a very, very competitive grid. A lot of the lap times are extremely close, and to see that in a racetrack like this is going to be quite interesting.
And we're ready to take the green flag, coming down to the restart zone. It's green, green, green in the air from Barney the Flagman, and it's Tucker and Hagman, wheel to wheel, coming down the front straight into turn one. But it's going to be the 12 losing out a little bit of ground right now. That's the 99 of Thomas Coonan, who's getting a slide job in front of the number 12. Travis Salonis, Tom Bryant, Jason Truckee, all in the mix here tonight, and everybody's going to town with Init Esports. Oh no, that's a big mistake! That's a big mistake! Was Tom Bryan involved, the number 42? Oh no! Big one there, and that'll be the first caution of the race.
First caution out, we haven't even gotten past turn number 4. That shows you just how difficult it is to keep that car straight. You can see what happened there with Jason Truckee as well. As he went through turn number 2, the car started sliding. So instead of being dead straight as he got on the exit of that corner, he already started sliding down below. So I dare say there is some sort of lack of grip here on this racetrack. You need to be really careful. It's not something you'd see Tom Bryant do. He is quite a veteran at ovals, so there must be something going on here. It's still very green, the track conditions. You're going to have to take it a bit easy before it gets fully rubbered in.
Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there, because just not sure of what was actually the causation of that incident. So we'll go to the blip cam and get a replay of what happened to the 45 here, or the 42, excuse me. So he's running, and he gets a little touch from the 91 by the looks of it, and that might spin him around, but he might have already been getting loose, so that might be the initial cause, and then it just went down from there. Morgan Stringer now into the pits, and Jordan Anthony Higgins follows him in as well.
Yes, Morgan Stringer, the number 91, that was the car that was also involved in that incident. Yeah, it almost looked like Tom was running a bit wide as he exited that turn, so he might have had to back off a little bit just to shed some speed, and that probably caught the number 91 also off guard. So it looks more like a racing incident than anything, but an unfortunate one, because now Tom Bryan is going to have to fix up that car. He's obviously not using the fast repairs by the looks of it, so he might be storing that for a potentially bigger incident that might happen. I hope this is the only incident we have, Sagar, because constant green flags around this sort of racetrack is going to be a pleasure to watch. So let's see. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Absolutely. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we don't have a big one. We seldom do see big ones here with Init Esports, and our grid has been well equipped to deal with side-by-side battling, and we'll expect to see more of that as the race goes on. But here underneath the first caution, the lights on the safety car are still on, so we'll get one more lap around the track here, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll let Cy do some introductions here at Concord. Did I just throw you a curveball, Cy? The 1.5 mile or 2.4 mile or 2.4 kilometer racetrack here in Concord. It was built in 1959 by Brunton Smith and racing legends Curtis Turner in Concord, North Carolina, with the inaugural World 600 back in June of 1960.
a lot of history in this racetrack. It's a classic. It's just if you think of NASCAR, it's ubiquitous in the world of NASCAR, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So yeah, it's a perfect place to go to after that opener at Daytona. So this is where the challenge begins. You're not flat out. You don't have your right foot planted into the accelerator. You're gonna have to back off sometimes. You're gonna have to steer a lot more. And these cars also have that sort of inbuilt camber difference, right? So you have to also hold your steering wheel at a different angle. There's so much to play around with, so much to consider for this racetrack. A lot of consideration has to be done for Tom Bryant, who's still in the pits, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's still round about there. So I don't know. Oh, sorry, my apologies. He's back there at the back of the pack. I guess he didn't get out in time to now get that lucky dog rule. So he's going to have to stay a lap down for this stage if things stay this way.
It'll be a hard-fought battle to get 3 laps back, but we go green into the restart zone, and Michael Trucker and Thomas Coonan are going to be the drivers to challenge Marcus Hagman in his number 12 Ram truck. Can he get it done? Can he get the work executed here and now? Welcome in, folks, if you're just joining us to the amazing race brought to you by Init Esports.
Excellent launch off the line from Tucker, who's just got a clean getaway in that. Let's be honest, that's a pretty good livery there. It's a brilliant livery. Stands out in the back, and he's leading the way with that.
5 cars, 3 abreast, coming across the stripe here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the 91 gets a bit sideways down to the apron, and that will be Morgan Stringer caught up in a big one again. I think Ted Edwards might have been the driver involved, but we'll go ahead and take another look at what happened to Stringer. But this one happened a long way back. The 79 and the 80 give a big squeeze to the 91 there, and then he goes up, down, all around, and the Tom Bryant like, no thank you in that conversation.
It's a very tricky position to be in if you're in the middle of a 3 wide sandwich going into turn number 1, which you can see is so narrow, the way the track just suddenly squeezes you there. Yeah, if you can't anticipate that, if you don't anticipate it, you're going to get caught in that. You should be able to back off. And the thing is, he didn't even have to do that because he was ahead. They were firmly in his blind spot. The number 80 you see there has just gone upwards a little bit, and that's what caused the collision, pushing the number 91 sideways. The 79 firmly out of the way. I believe Javi Sierra there was sticking to his line and really couldn't go any further to the right, with the wall over there. And it was just very unfortunate for Morgan Stringer this time to get involved. So the number 91 having an adventurous start to this race, but this looks like a chance for now Tom Bryant to get back on the lead lap because he is the leader of the lapped cars.
Yeah, Tom Bryant trying to do the best he can right now. Then that number 42, the Cadbury car, he started in 5th position, now running all the way down in almost last place. What do we call that? Penultimate last?
Yep, penultimate would probably be the only thing we could call it here.
Tom Bryant has had the worst luck in some of these races sometimes when it comes to race starts, but that being said, his recoveries have been fantastic, and here we go. He gets his first lap back, and that'll put him just 1 off the leaders at this point in time, so lucky dog indeed this time by.
Yeah, can't discount Tom Bryant. He's always one of those, if you look at those lap position charts, he's one of those drivers that go up and down and all over the place throughout a race. So you can't really discount Tom Bryant. He is very good at strategy. He tends to make very risky strategy calls that seem to pay off. So definitely a driver you need to keep an eye on. But as you can see, just from those first few laps, we have some real challengers for the win here. Tucker, Coonan, Lonas, Hagman. Troki was also a very strong candidate. Their Fenstermacher's made a good number of positions as well. So it's great to see Matthew Fenstermacher. He was kind of getting up to speed in the first race. Now he's up there fighting for the lead, fighting for major points, which, by the way, the first stage ends on lap number 40. So, we've just about started the race, but yeah, they have 37, 36 odd laps to get those first stage points. So a lot to still play for here. Stringer still at the back of the pack now, still in the pits. Morgan Stringer still in the pits. So it looks like he has also opted to manually repair that car without using any fast repairs.
And only one fast repair, as you noted earlier. So the drivers have to be very selective in what they're shooting for. Short stage break wins or the overall points at the end. So 6 half one way, half dozen the other side, I'm just glad that I'm not in the cockpit having to make those decisions.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a long race, and yeah, you want to definitely save that fast repair for something which you potentially might have to use towards the end when the stakes are higher, right? You're not battling for 10 points, you're battling for 40. So yeah, you have to definitely calculate that. I think it's very smart for neither of them to use up those fast repairs just yet. Yeah, let's hope we have a cleaner getaway now for everybody. Pace car's lights are out, so we're going to go green any second now.
Agreed. Any second we'll go back to green here as we get ready to go green. Let's take a look at some of these beautiful paint schemes that we got. The 36, the 99, the 17, the 12, the 40. I mean, up and down the grid, everybody has a beautiful paint scheme that's representative of what they love, racing. 36 in the lead here for Regadgets Gaming's NASCAR Truck Series. And in the background, look at Jason Truckee in that 46. We're going to keep our eye on him because right now he has a great start, but to the inside line, go to two contenders, the 37 and the 59. John Rousseau way downtown looking for a move on the 46. Can he do it? No, I don't think so. Not at turn 3. In the background, Katharina Geisler going for moves up at turn 3. It will be the number 56 with a big wiggle there in the middle of the field. He gets so loose in the 32. Katharina Geisler, I bet, is puckering her cheeks right now going, oh my God, don't lose it now.
Very precarious position to be in when a car is starting to fishtail in front of you. But looks like that car, the 56 of Higgins, has managed to regain stability. So now it looks like it's already kind of spread out here, Sagar. It's just been one lap since the restart, but you have cars already settling into single file. So it looks like everybody's being a little bit cautious here. Can't say that's the same for the 45 of Fenstermacher, who's trying to make a move on the outside. And it's actually quite a smart line to take there. We've seen this in previous exhibition races where drivers that held that outside line for earlier parts of the race, or in this case the stage, had some extra rubber life to play with in the front tires in the second half. So yeah, different strategies, different lines being employed here. Some drivers opting to attack early, others opting to defend.
This is absolutely fantastic. Look at Martin J. Young and Jordan Higgins right now just pushing each other. Coming in towards turn 1, Pedro Piera and Katharina Geisler in the background as well, with Javi Sierra getting mixed up in this. That's going to be the number 79 on the outside of Katharina Geisler in the Init machine, number 32. And watch out for Dan Edwards in that number 80 as well in the background. The Dr. Pepper machine looking pretty snazzy. Up into the wall for the 79. A little bit of kiss to the barrier, but he's okay for now.
The 80 getting awfully close to that grass on the inside. Another horrible place for you to be on. If you get two tires over there, you're going to start spinning your vehicle. And if you spin into turn number 1, we've seen what happens. That's kind of the bottleneck. That's the pinch point where all the drivers dive into turn number 1. So not a nice place to be in, but the number 80 brilliantly maneuvering through that. Still now looking at the tail and the rear fender of the car up ahead. Katharina Geisler having a great first race of the season. Now having a go at overtaking Pereira right in front. You see just how close Ted Edwards is trying to get in front. And it looks like Pereira is the one that lost out there. 2 positions in one corner. Not ideal at a racetrack like this.
And the 17 leading this pack of drivers right now, Travis Lonis, not doing a too shabby job right now on the racetrack. Out here to impress, and not only out here to impress, he's matching the leader's lap time, doing what he needs to do, staying within striking distance and on the lead lap right now. It's only lap 16, but the drivers have definitely found their grooves, haven't they, Sai? They've settled down into this momentum-based run, as just as I say that, Trocky tries to challenge the man I'm talking about, the number 17 of Travis Lonis. Wheel to wheel goes Jason Trocky as he throws down the gauntlet and wants to walk his way forward after earlier losing out 3 positions.
Yep, Lonis sticking to that bottom lane, and he's again lost 3 or 4 positions in the span of 1 lap. It's the same thing that happened in the 88 of Pereira. So it looks like drivers that are holding that bottom line are just not maintaining enough momentum, like you had mentioned. It's not just the groove that these drivers have found. It looks like they've also found drafting partners and strategy packs as well. As you see the field firmly divided into, let's say, three categories. You have a lot of drivers in the tail end battling it out. You have this front pack here, and then the number 36 of Tucker, he's in his own world. He has his own pack. He's a second ahead, which is a big gap to have in such a short racetrack.
How exactly does that work when the rest of the field needs drafting partners to stay ahead? Michael Tucker is able to pull out a 1-second gap. Give me the data. Show me the analyze that for me, Sai. Help me understand how Michael Tucker can be that much faster this early on without sacrificing his late stage runs.
I'd say it's got less to do with aerodynamic sorcery and more to do with the fact that everybody else behind him has to be cautious, first of all. You know, you've seen 2 cautions already, so everyone's being a little cautious when there are drivers around you, which means you're going to have to back off and shuffle around a bit. But also it's the fact that these drivers are slowing each other down on the straights. You have the side draft that's working in. You have a lot of dirty air going all around the place. And you also have, you know, some drivers maybe saving tires, so we really don't know what Tucker's doing up front. He seems to be in control. He has clean air, but also he might be pushing those tires quite hard. This is where you need to keep an eye on that number 12 of Marcus Hagman. He's always the driver who you think is quite slow and just hangs around mid-pack, and then suddenly towards the end, he just launches it. So I'm confident that as we get to that first stage break, number 40, lap number 40, so when you get around 35, that's when you're going to see some of these drivers really start making positions here. As of now, Tucker doesn't have much to worry about. That's why he's able to stick to his lines. But it's only a matter of time before he has that rear view mirror full of cars.
I cannot wait for that moment. As you indicated, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they all start coming together. But look at this for just a brief moment. The timeline here from Lee Winters is absolutely phenomenal. Look at it go. Started in 16th position. What a tale, Sai.
Yeah, from the back of the pack, now he's in the top 5. Very good place to be in. If you finish in the top 5, you get a lot of points. So if you're looking at your championship, yeah, every little bit counts. And being in the top 5 is really not a bad position. And I believe Lee Winters is new, right? He didn't join the last race, so he has quite a bit of catching up to do in the points table. So yeah, this is definitely where he wants to be. That qualifying time is not indicative of his race pace, that's for sure.
That seems to be the case for certain as he sets himself up for success into the top 5 for Lee Winters. We'll find out what he's capable of, but right now we only have a few laps remaining, 16 to go in the stage if my math is mathing, Sai.
Yep, 16 to go. Remember, at the start of lap number 39, I believe, the pit lane closes. No one's going to be able to do some last-minute pit strategies, and so they can't really throw the rest of the grid for a loop there. But in a way, it doesn't really make sense to pit just before a stage break because you have a lot of points up for grab and everyone's going to go under yellow flag conditions anyways. But it's just something worth noting. So if you have some terminal damage and you're on lap number 39, well, you're out of luck. You're going to have to finish those 2 laps before you get in. But yeah, about 10 laps from now, we're going to start seeing some big changes in pace across this grid.
Absolutely here for it. Lee Winters providing us with a ton of excitement. But what about Fassenmacher as well with a gain of 2 this evening? It's not too shabby of a run to stay in your pack and gain a few along the way. The number 45 is trying to stay Dente and go for the attack on the 37 Craftsman badge truck. Let's see if he can get it done, but no, to no avail across the stripe. 37 of Lee Winters defends that position fair and square from Matthew Fassenmacher. Travis Lonis, however, is not going to be fair and square. He's going to work his way around the outside line and get the groove settled in, and the speed momentum he carries is going to go all the way back to the 37 there and all the way down to turn number 3. He is flying on the racetrack.
Travis Lonis has finally cracked the code. He's dropped several positions. We saw that a few laps ago by holding that inside line. So he decided to try a different maneuver, try a different strategy, hold that outside lane, and it has paid dividends to him. He's only gained 2 positions, but the way he did it was phenomenal. This is exactly the sort of racing they're going to get in short tracks like this, and I can't wait to just keep seeing this. It looks like the car he just passed, that's right behind him, the 37 of Lee Winters, fancies a go at getting back that position he lost. He won't get it this time around, but he's definitely setting him up for turn number 1. You see Lee Winters taking that outside lane, just carrying a bit more momentum, trying to get into that drafting, that little drafting cone behind the number 17. Not quite there yet, but this battle is just going to keep carrying on till the end of the stage.
Remember just a few laps ago, we were talking about a 1-second gap. Well, that gap has just absolutely evaporated as Tucker gets chased down by Kunin. It's just under half a second. But here and now, Marcus Hagman and Lucas Monstro go wheel to wheel. The Frenchman on the attack of Marcus Hagman as they exchange blows across the stripe. The 12 and the 98 are wheel to wheel all the way around the Charlotte Oval.
Lap number 30 out of 40 for stage number 1, and this is crunch time. You see the drivers now starting to pick up the pace. If I were Lucas Montresor, I would perhaps try to work with Marcus Hagman right here because the front 2 are now starting to run away. If you start squabbling with just another driver, the only other driver you have on your side to draft up ahead, that's going to cause some problems. But it looks like this battle is not going anywhere anytime soon. Hagman, we know, has the potential to pull it out of the hat, and he's staying on the outside, and you see they're slowly pulling away. The number 98 losing a little bit on the inside lane, but again getting it back into corners. So you gain that into the corner, but by the exit of the second corner, when you get back on that straight, that's when the outside lane works. Marcus Hagman taps the wall a bit and loses a bit of momentum there, but skillfully prevents any more cautions coming out right now.
Hagman and Lucas are just absolutely relentless right now, wheel to wheel against each other. Against each other coming through 1, against each other through 2, then 3, then 4, down the straight. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, Lucas Hagman is here for a fight. And the fight for the podium lies here across the stripe with just 7 to go until the end of the stage. It's undecided who will get the stage break points.
It's not just this battle. You see that time between P1 and P2 also below a 1/10 of a second, and it looks like, I dare say, they're probably also side by side as well, very similar to this pack. You see it right there, 99 dropping back a bit, but he starts picking up that pace once again. Now with the number 99 big in the mirrors, 36 of Tucker has to be a little careful. Another caution. It looks like the 99 spun out as he entered the main straight, and more chaos. Lee Winters in the number 17, such a good run. Travis Lonis is number 17, having a good run, also slamming into the number 99. That's the worst possible position where you'd want your car to spin out and get parked, Sauger, right across the start-finish line.
Let's take a look at this replay, Si. So it looks like the 99 has the run and the momentum on the car ahead. The 36 a little loose there, and then absolutely just fishtails his own race, and the 99 did not let off enough and catches the fishtail right in the face, and that will be the start of this. And then we'll go down, and then the 99 held his brakes just like he should, but the 17 already having an incident with the 45 trying to avoid it, and then that'll be the next one that takes place.
Cars just peppered across the racetrack, and several cars now diving into the pit lane, almost the entire grid diving down into the pit lane. Everyone wants to fix damage, but you have to remember you do get a free pit stop even after the stage is done, because the pace car collects the grid and you go in under yellow flag conditions for a couple more laps. Looks like the entire grid has dived down the pit lane. I think everyone wants just a good restart for the end of this stage, but I would say that's a pretty unfortunate end to that stage. Look at the smoke coming out of the number 99. He had the worst of it. First of all, hitting that wall and then basically getting the side of his car rammed into by the number 17 of Lonis. So yeah, he had a very bad crash there. The 36 also had a hard hit on the wall, because I think it went straight into the wall as we entered turn number 1. Was off camera, but I dare say that was a pretty bad hit for the 36 as well. A lot of drivers are going to be in that pit lane for quite a while, given how much damage we saw spread across the grid.
So Martin J. Young is the driver to stay out, and Lucas Monstreur is the first driver to pit, so he'll have fresh rubber, and so will everybody else basically. Tom Bryant, the only one who didn't come down pit lane, but probably will now because he is back on the lead lap. Michael S. Tucker being the only driver behind him. So I imagine Tom will, slip down pit road and get that service and try to gather as many stage points as possible, but he's recovered all the way back. So Tom Bryant is into pit lane now. He will get that new pair of tires, and we'll get ready to go and rumble for a very short green flag run to the end of the stage.
Martin J. Young is running the biggest gamble of his life here, staying out. The only driver to stay out. He's probably figured out that he gets a free pit stop after this. He might be put at the back of the pack after stage number 1 in that pit stop, but he has 10 points up for grabs here. I was just thinking about the rules. This might happen sometime in the future, but what happens if you're under yellow flag as you finish the stage? I would guess we do get the points in that position, and that's what the number 4 was potentially banking on. But it's not all over just yet. He has to just hold on. He doesn't have as much grip as the drivers behind him, so this is going to be a tall ask. But if he can do it, he would have just pulled out a strategy masterclass, maybe the best strategy that we'll see this race.
Let's take a look, shall we, as we get ready to rumble, folks, into the restart zone. It will be Martin J. Young to lead us through. And the 98 of Lucas Monstreux on the outside. And it's green. Martin J. Young get the traction. The answer is no. The answer is no. He cannot. And we'll have another caution, and we'll have the answer to your question. If we finish the stage under caution, what happens? I believe the answer is this is the order that we've got now.
So looks like Lucas Montressor is going to be the big winner of that quite unfortunate, very messy restart from the number 4 of Martin Young. A big loser in that collision is Marcus Hagman, who got spun out right in the middle of that pack, and he's down in P13 right now. So a lot of drivers losing out in that collision. Lee Winters, number 37, the probably the driver with the biggest gain till now across the grid, is up in P2, and it looks like this is going to be the finishing position for the first stage of the race.
Yes, it will be. So no caution, no additional cautions will be called. But it looks like the order is Lucas Mostro, Lee Winters, Ted Edwards, Katrina Geisler, Pedro Piera, Luke Byrne, Martin J. Young, Thomas Coonan, Michael S. Tucker, and then look at this, Mr. Tom Bryant at the end of the day in the top 10 as we finish the stage, most likely. We're still on lap 37. Excuse me, go ahead, Si.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you were making a good point there. We're only on lap 37, so we might still have a few racing laps for the stage.
A few laps or a last lap dash, and oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Do you see what I see on the timing tower, sir? It's none other than Mr. Tom Bryant with a black flag penalty. How did he manage to do that?
Could that be a pit lane speeding infringement or maybe a pit exit infringement? It is a little confusing when you exit the pits with a yellow flag already going on and drivers all over the place. So it could be anything. It's probably a pit lane speeding infringement. We have seen that in the past.
What about incident counts?
Could potentially be that. Yeah, I believe if I just pull up the rules here, we do have an incident cap, viewers, beyond which we do start handing out penalties for drivers. Penalties will be, I believe, at 20 incident points, and then every 5 incident points you again have penalties. So yeah, there's a very good chance, Sagar, that Tom Bryant's hit that penalty limit with the sort of adventures he had in the first part of the stage.
I'm just thinking, you get 4, then you get 2 for the off track. You know, you're sitting at 6 to start off your event. And then you just stack them up after that with a couple of slide job here, slide job there. They don't result in anything, but the way that the penalty system does work out, it does punish the drivers pretty profusely. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was due to incident counts. But you know what the beauty in it is? You have 3 laps to serve that penalty, right? He's still going to make it to lap 40 in P. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. He's been promoted to P8 now as the dust settles.
So another thing we'll probably learn in this process is if he has something like a drive-through or a stop-and-go penalty, can he serve that under yellow flag conditions at the end of the stage break? Does it count? I believe the answer is no. But if that is the case, we'll find out soon, because it looks like the stage is about to end. If you look at that pace car, I think the lights have gone out. What lap exactly are we on, Sagar? Looks
this
like
will be the end of lap 40. This is the end of the stage, sir.
So it looks like we'll go green when the pace car goes into the pits. And as soon as we go green and we cross the start-finish line, we get a yellow again for the end of the stage break. Does look like that's happening. Looks like we're just staying yellow here. That is Lee Winters opting to pit now.
The Lee Winters opting to pit. Jason Trocchi opting to pit as well. And we still sit behind the pace car. We appreciate you staying tuned and standing by as we still have a little bit more time behind the pace car. And we want to give a big shout out and thanks to our sponsors here tonight, including Bubba Myers Custom Designs. If you're interested in grabbing a paint scheme or livery for your cars here on the platform of iRacing, make sure you check out Bubba Myers Paints. They're going to be providing prizes for the drivers throughout the Init season.
everybody vying for that first place, that first prize at the end of this season. It'll be great to have another great livery to be added to your roster. And I can confirm with with race director right now, this is the end of stage 1, and that is why we had that caution basically carry on. I believe caution goes on for another couple of laps at the end of the stage, so it's a perfect chance for drivers to fix their cars. Probably very unfortunate timing there for Lee Winters to decide to go down pit lane, as is also the case for Jason Trocchi. Both drivers could have stayed out and grabbed those points, but it looks like they lost a few in the process of slowing down into pit lane. Unfortunately, we've lost one driver, Morgan Stringer, after that second incident. He called it the day. Looks like his race was over on lap number 6.
Flurry of drivers taking to pit road as well. It'll be Chalker, Coonan, Tom Bryant, Marcus Hagman, and Luke Byrne still in the mix. Number 95, Napa Know-How Machine.
There's some drivers that have been very cleanly racing, have been quietly making their way through the pack. One is Ted Edwards. You have Katrina Geisler as well. 2 drivers that have been basically staying out of trouble, and look where it's gotten them. They're way up front right now. They haven't pitted, which is fine. You still have plenty of time in the next stage to do so, but it's going to be a bit of a gamble because as you get towards the end of that stage, you're going to start struggling for grip. So if you get a yellow flag over there, you're going to have to pit. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a situation like how we saw that lack of grip at the start of the last stage. So yeah, it's a little bit. It's fine right now. You have enough grip right now, but you have to think long term. You have to realize that the track is only going to get hotter. It's only going to get more difficult to control the car. Yeah, you have a lot of things to calculate here. So yeah, it's a different challenge. I knew it was going to be harder than Daytona, and it's proving to be the case.
I'm just curious, does he have another black flag, Tom Bryant? Well, Matthew Fassenmacher does have another black flag, the 45, but looks like the 42 has one as well as we wait for Barney to switch from yellow to green as we finish up this stage. But a peculiar case as Tom Bryant did come down pit road on lap 41. So after the stage was over versus what Trocchi and Lee Winters did, they came in on lap 40.
Yeah, a bunch of drivers came down pit road on lap 41. Tucker Byrne, Coonan, Tom Bryant, and Marcus Hagman. Basically, everyone who's at the tail end of the pack went down pit lane. Fenstermacher and Higgins have not gone down pit lane. Is Higgins still in the race? He is, but he's 3 laps down. So what happened there for Jordan Higgins? He was having quite a strong run towards the front of mid-pack for the first half of the stage and then completely dropped out of contention.
Trying to find the incident for Higgins. Nothing really happened except for him entering pit lane on lap 29, and then he jumped to pit lane on lap 29 again. So that would be the causation there, but we'll see what happens here on the restart. 98 of Lucas Monsieur leads Ted Edwards and Katharina Geisler in the number 32. What can be done for her as she runs in 3rd place not in the midfield any longer, but with the front runner? She goes down to the apron and gets a little loose coming through 1 and 2, but maintains traction somehow, some way. She leaves the 66 and the 17 in the background, ready to duke it out between them. Pedro Pierre and Travis Lonis are going to exchange a little bit of paint coming through 3 and 4, but there goes the number 4 down to the apron. That's Martin J. Young getting really loose and losing a ton of ground coming out of turn 4 across the stripe. It'll be 3 abreast through the midfield. This is absolutely insane, Sai.
Very well controlled though by all the drivers around. Good race pace, good sense of the racetrack dynamics as they all stayed out of the way. It's good to see nobody crash into the number 4. But the downside for number 4 is now he's dropped way at the back of the pack. The next caution is out, and there we go. The number 4 once again involved in that. Although that was definitely not his fault right there. There was a spin in front of him. Look at that, number 36, Tucker, who was one of the strongest drivers at the start of this race, is hard into the wall, and all those drivers conveniently dive down pit lane as they basically spin into it.
Tragic running for Martin J. Young, who's led us for only a singular lap, and see the smoke billowing from that engine as he comes into the pits. But a fast repair will take care of that, but we'll be under our 5th caution tonight besides the stage break, and we'll take a few minutes to reflect and think about a strategy for the next stage, as we still have a very long run before our next break in action.
I think the best strategy here is for everyone to pit. If you have unlimited tires, you might as well do that now. We see how precarious your stability issues are going to be if you have bad tires. You saw that with Katrina Geisler, who started off with just a few laps older tires than the rest of the pack. Really, the top 7 at the start of that stage all had about 6 laps older tires, but that was enough for all of them to have problems on that restart. So you need to be either extremely careful with your throttle input, or you need fresh tires. And looking at how competitive this grid is, you don't want to be backing off at the start of the race. So you might as well get some fresh tires on and really be able to floor it and get up to speed as quick as you can. And it looks like that's what most of these drivers are doing. A lot of them are pitting. If you look at that timing tower, however, the top 5 are still on the last pit stop, which was on lap 34. So they're going to take a gamble once again.
Sai, this is one of the reasons I love working with you, is the analysis that you're able to produce and look at the data here is absolutely fantastic. And we take a look at the rest of the field. You're able to just dissect what's going on in the drivers' heads as they figure it out, going 100, 200 miles an hour. We're figuring it out in the booth, and you do the cocktail math better than anybody else I know.
I appreciate that, Sagar. I guess sometimes to think like a driver, you shouldn't be a driver. I'd probably be at the back of this pack if I were driving, so it's good I'm here. I'd rather be in the commentary booth than driving these cars, looking at how tricky it is, battling it out there. We leave that to the experts. We leave that to those with much better reaction skills, or with much better dynamic calculation skills. That's what the drivers have to juggle. They have to plan their strategy and at the same time plan out their next move with their steering wheel, given how many cars seem to be floating all over the place. And remember, this is actually an interesting chance to see in slow speed what it's like from the driver's point of view, because that just tells you how little, how much you can actually see in front of you. So if we go into the cockpit view, yeah, it's quite difficult. You're a lot lower compared to what you see in the broadcast. So in this case, Ted Edwards, he's got clean view. He's got a clean view up ahead because there's no one directly in front of him. But if you go to someone mid-pack, you'll see that you can't actually see much beyond the driver in front. So you see Katrina Geisler here. She can see the car right ahead of her, but you can't see the car ahead of that car. So you can't see the car ahead of the Goodwrench car. So this is where if someone starts spinning 2 cars ahead of you, you're going to have to react in a matter of half a second. And with cars this slippery on a racetrack like this, that's no easy task.
And the driver is squared up. 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. Ready to take the restart, Sai.
Let's see how it goes. We're getting just around turn number 4 now. Big gap there down to Pereira. I don't know if he's gotten the idea that he has to pick up the pace and get a bit closer there. Pace car is going to go in now. Let's see what this is like. Let's see if drivers can feather the throttle a lot better this time around. Katrina Geisler already giving a little bit of space there. She wants to get a good run over there. Gets a good launch off turn number 1. There's already a bit of bump drafting, but everyone seems to settle in fairly quickly. A bit of contact there, too wide. Another caution out now. Tom Bryant involved once again, getting collected there. And that was a Pereira in the 88. So he already had a very cautious start there. He didn't seem very confident with that restart. And you see the sort of knock-on effect that gives. It just kind of goes down towards the end of the pack. And this time, Tom Bryant once again sees the pace car right behind him.
Again, Tom Bryant having the worst of luck this race, but we'll be back behind another pace car for a few laps. And let's take a second to look at some of the manufacturers as well and see what the manufacturer's tale tells us from the timing tower, Si.
Good distribution of manufacturers. You have a Ford, a Chevy, Ford, Toyota, Ram. So you have all four manufacturers in the top 5. That's already exciting to watch. Yeah, and a healthy spread of all these manufacturers as well. Looks like Toyota seems to be the car of choice, followed by the Chevy, I believe. Well, actually, Toyota and Chevy both have the same number of cars, but one of those Toyotas, Morgan Stringer, obviously, unfortunately, out of the race already. So currently, it's a Chevy dominant field, but it's the Ford that leads the way.
And a beautiful sight here from the blimp at Charlotte in Concord, North Carolina. Just absolutely breathtaking view here.
Just the perfect racetrack. It's just the perfect arena to test your tire conservation skills. Let's call this the tire conservation race, because that's what it seems to be, a battle of who has the most grip at the start of a green flag sector, I would say. I mean, that's what we'd call it, looking at if you look at the race progression up there, the top of your screen above 6th caution, there's a lot of yellow peppered there with one big block of green. So
Absolutely.
we're not even at 30% distance, are we? What lap are we on right now? I believe we're close to lap 50.
51 almost?
Yeah, 51. So we're just nearing the first third of the race. We already had a lot of cautions out. So hopefully the drivers get a little bit more familiar now with the restart, because there seems to be a recurring pattern of grip loss and throttle issues getting off the line, and also overcorrection into turn number 1. But again, that's just what I see here. There could be other underlying problems, bigger problems, which we can't actually decipher.
And that kind of rolls us into the keys of the race tonight, as the drivers kind of need to look at these 4 points. You have to nail 3 and 4. That's key number 1. Because Charlotte's toughest challenge is getting through 3 and 4 without abusing the right front tire. As drivers, you can rotate the truck through the center and still get back on throttle cleanly, will gain huge time over a long run. Speaking of tires, protect those things. Fastest truck over 5 laps may not be the fastest truck over 25 or maybe 40. So sliding or spinning the rears off the corner will punish you later on in the stage. Got to win these restarts, as it turns into a track position race very quickly here at Charlotte. The restarts provide one of the best opportunities to gain multiple positions, but outside and inside lanes can change effectiveness depending on where the rubber builds up. And obviously key number 4 is get that pit stop right. Fuel, tires, caution, and track position can completely reshape the race. Taking 4 tires may provide the best speed, but 2 tire call, staying out, could put someone at the front when it matters most.
100% going with the 2-tire route is a viable option. That's not on the minds of any of the top 4 here, who are still on that last pit stop at lap number 34, almost 17 laps ago. They're taking that gamble. At this point, you only have 29 more laps for the end of this stage. For now, it's green flag conditions. Once again, drivers all getting off fairly well. You see the car way at the back of the pack, also getting an amazing slingshot there. Perfect time. He might get enough of a momentum to get up to the front of the pack. Already going 3 wide into turn number 1. It is the number 32 of Katharina Geisler, one of the drivers that are on older tires. She's now losing a lot of lap time there, is losing a lot of grip. Obviously, it's taking a little longer for that tire to wake up and get up to speed. Number 99 right ahead, very strong contender, now making his way through the pack. A little bit of a wall tap there, but once again, drivers are holding on. This is where things start to get a little tricky. Remember, turn number 1 is the pinch point, and you see that the Napa car hitting the outside. But it's good to see, Sagar. Cars are bouncing off the wall, but they're not bouncing back into other cars. So that's a good sign.
And that, folks, is the Napa know-how. The number 95 charges up the field now. What a run for Luke Byrne, up to 6th place right now. 9 positions gained, but hold your breath and hold the phone, because we've got a side-by-side run between the number 98 right now and the 17. The battle for the lead is very much on like Donkey Kong.
Trevor Lona is starting to make some important decisions here. He's going to have to start now working with the 98. At least that's what I would do if I were in that position, because these two drivers are still on those older sets of tires. You have the 37 of Lee Winters and Thomas Coonan right behind on fresher set of tires. Ted Edwards, not much of a threat at the moment with another 34th lap pit stop, but it's Marcus Hagman, the driver with the freshest set of tires in the top 10 right now. He's the one to keep an eye on. We know what he can do, Sagar. He's just going to bounce at the right time. He's holding his position right now. He's gotten past Luke Byrne and is now just biding his time. We know what he likes to do. He likes to save his tires and then bounce in those last 10 laps. So if the front runners, the number 17 and the number 98, have any chance of winning this stage, they need to keep this in mind.
Absolutely, Cy. Hard to disagree with any point that you make. They're also on point. The 98 is, I have my questions. What can the 98 do from here, from second place? He needs a third truck, doesn't he? The aerodynamic push of a third truck would really help him out. But he's hung out to dry right now.
It really is a double-edged sword, because if you have a third truck behind, you have to also defend at the same time. And you will get hung out to dry towards the end, because that's what happens at the end of the stage. You work together till those last few laps, and then it's every driver for themselves. So, yeah, this is going to be a tricky one here. As of now, Montresor would be happy just sticking around there in P2, because you still have a bit of time to make that decision. But you have drivers behind hungry for more stage points. I don't think anyone was quite pleased with the way the first stage finished, at least not in the style it finished. People will be happy with the points, but everyone wants to be fighting for that victory. And I think I'd like to say, Sagar, that's what's going to happen here. A lot of drivers that potentially can do this. If you go down that field, the last driver with those old tires is Javi Sierra, who's way back at the tail end of this pack, looks like. But Katharina Geisler, even with old tires, is still holding out strong. So if she picks the right drafting partner, she might actually make her way up there as well and have a chance for some huge stage points. So really, it's anyone's race here. Fresh tires, used rubber. What is it going to be that gets you up ahead?
Speed, momentum, and confidence, in my opinion, are going to be what get drivers to the top spot, as Lucas Monsieur is the driver to find P1 in front of Travis Lonis, the number 17. And look at that, as I speak his name, that third truck appears of Travis Coonan. But what a run from the number 99! Speak his name thrice and he shall appear. Travis Coonan, Travis Coonan, Travis Coonan. The boogeyman is here, ready to throw a shade at everybody. Lucas Monsieur, watch out now, here he comes.
Well, the 17 got that third truck, but before he had the option to defend. He already lost the position to Kunin, who has fresher tires and is holding that outside line. So he has the best position right now. We're going to see a mega run out of turn number 4 here. Unless the 17 has something to say about it, he's still sticking to that inside line. But this is going to be very tricky coming out of turn number 3 and 4. Just like you had mentioned in those key points for the race, the exit of turn number 4 is so treacherous. It's so narrow. You're just going to have to back off there. The 99 hasn't carried as much momentum as expected from that lap, but he's probably just saving his tires, backing off a little bit. There's still some time. Lap 23 of the 40 laps for this stage. 17 laps is a healthy number of laps to choose your battles.
Look at the head-to-head, gaining 2/10 per lap over the last 5 over Lucas Monsieur, the first place contender for now. The gap is definitely coming down and is just coming down like a stone. Both drivers taking 4 tires. Last time they came in lap 21 and lap 28 respectively.
Marcus Hagman is still almost 5 seconds off the leader, so perhaps just a bit too
big
far
slap
now.
Against the wall for the 98, but he gets a push from the 99. There's someone smoking in pit lane, but will stay glued to this.
As of now, the 99 seems to be glued to the racetrack, which is good for him, but he's now on the bottom lane, which is less than ideal, especially when you're battling for the lead. Nonetheless, with tires that are starting to stream, are starting to beg to be replaced in the pit lane. But as of now, things seem all right. I'm a little bit more worried for the number 98 up front. Not worried so much as concerned with the amount of chaos going on in the rearview mirrors. It's bad enough when you have to wrestle a car around a racetrack like this, a slippery surface, but to have a bunch of cars menacing and threatening to take away P1, it's a different kind of pressure.
Absolutely. Travis Lowen is in a tricky spot. He wants to battle forward. He wants to get a position on the 98, but he has Thomas Kunin behind him, ready to pounce and ready to show his stripes as well. He's done it before. He'll do it again. Look at how much debris is on the side of that 99. It's no longer white and red. It's white, black, and red. And there goes the run. And look at the background battle as Marcus Hagman, no, that's Ted Edwards, slaps up against the wall in front of none other than Lee Winters. There's battles everywhere on the racetrack. The 56 behind, going wheel to wheel with the Chili's mobile. That's little, oh my goodness, Luke Byrne into the wall. The 46 of Jason Trucking goes down to the apron. What is going on here in Concord?
Jason Trucking is forming basically a 4th lane around this racetrack. If he goes down that path enough, he might mow the grass. He's taking care of all the maintenance work that goes on here in Charlotte. There's more maintenance work that has to be done, though, on the wall with the number 95 favoring basically the wall run more than actually sticking on the racetrack. It'll be interesting to see what the right side of that truck looks like. It's a good thing we only see the left side most of the time, as you see that surprisingly clean. So it looks like Luke Byrne has figured out a way to run along the wall without damaging it at all.
You know, we knew Luke was going to be coming up with something tricky. Didn't know it was going to be tricky like that. But talk about tricky. It's tricky. There's a song about that somewhere. The 12 and the 32 going wheel to wheel, coming through 3 and 4 side by side. But watch out for Pedro Piera behind in that 66 machine. As he charges through the field, he'll be doing things that are green and clean tonight. As he charges up, he's 6 positions gained. I mean, he's no Ted Edwards, who's up 13 positions, but right now the battle for the lead is between the 98 and the 99. Lucas Monsieur is challenged by Thomas Kunin. Coming across the stripe, the 99 holds the inside line, and then the 98 to the high side. Lucas Monsieur is the driver to carry the speed and momentum, nearly touching the wall, but avoiding it with style and grace. Who's going to get loose on throttle? The tires are screaming, as you said, and there gets loose on exit of 1 and 2. The 98 hit the 99 both lose traction.
That was incredibly close right there. I was about to say the 98 was really smart, sticking into the outside and forcing the 99 of Coonan to run on the inside line and shred some more of that tire. But then what happened was, because the exit of that turn is so narrow, Montresor had to back off. Otherwise, he'd basically have run into the wall. That causes a chain reaction. There wasn't much contact between the 98 and 99, but the 99 also had to back off to avoid the fishtailing 98 of Montresor. In the end, though, Montresor having a decent lead now, some breathing space. I say some breathing space because 99 is trying to close in there. The 46 and the 12 now starting the battle, and they are actually firmly behind P6. So Katerina Geisler, who's again pitted on lap number 34, is having a very strong stage here. Stage number 2 has been really good for Katerina Geisler, and I'd say that's really well done, given the fact that you have someone like Marcus Hagman on super fresh tires, several seconds behind you. That's a big feat there, and looks like it's a very clean stage for a lot of these drivers.
Jess, you had to do it, didn't you, Sai? You had to give us... We're not familiar yet, but you will be. The commentator's curse, man. It's just a thing. You can't say nice things about the drivers without bad things quickly happening after that. Let's take a look here at Lee Winters and Katerina Geisler going wheel to wheel, coming out of turn 2. Geisler is going to be the driver on the inside line to carry the speed and momentum, and it will be Lee Winters to have the little wiggle on exit. Who's there to pick up the pieces is none other than Pedro Piera.
Maybe a good experiment. We'll see which drivers will actually listen to the broadcast while driving and correlate that with the drivers whom we've spoken about and see if there's any sort of pattern there. I'm pretty sure for these top 2 drivers, none of that matters. They're probably completely locked in, oblivious to everything else going around in the world right now, because number 98 is still holding out in front. This is an impressive drive nonetheless from Montresor. With the amount of pressure he's had throughout the stage, 5 to go, Sagar. Can he hold on?
Let's see what he can do. Thomas Coonan started in 3rd, so he shows his stripes early on as he challenges for the lead. Maybe his pace in qualifying was indicative of his true pace in the race also, as the people, I should say, strategize how to execute their best run and conserve their tires, because we have men and women participating in this program, the Init Esports NASCAR event. If you want to get involved with more NASCAR events, make sure you go ahead and scan the QR code in the bottom right hand side of your screen.
Exciting stuff here at the end of stage 2. 4 to go. That number is going to drop very quickly. Drivers are locked in. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Montresor fending off the threat from a driver with much better tires, Coonan, right now? Or is it going to be the 17 of Lonis, who's just been basically hanging on there at the back? Does he have something up his sleeve? Is he going to pull that slingshot maneuver at the end of this stage? 3 to go. Anybody's game. Right now, it's in the court of Montresor, firmly holding that outside lane.
Look at the focus and determination from Thomas Coonan right now as we take a look on board. But it will be the end of the stage in just a handful of laps. The 99 lead us around with just 2 to go now.
Pit lane's now closed on lap number 79. 2 to go. White flag next time around. And it looks like Montresor's not giving up, holding that inside lane. It worked for 99 last time around, but remember the 99 has a bit more grip and can afford to do that. Montresor on way older tires is going to really be taxing. Is going to really be testing the limits of that grip, but holds on somehow. If you can hold on and maintain enough momentum, maybe squeeze the driver on the outside to make a mistake, you can potentially hold on. And you see right there, it's just enough to stay on the outside to get ahead when you cross the finish line. 1 to go. Will Thomas Coonan hold that outside lane? It looks like he's forced to at this point, but I don't think he's complaining.
You've got to hold on for one more day. And one more corner as Thomas Conan and Lucas Monsieur are about to approach the end of the stage side by side. It'll be absolutely a drag to the line. Who comes out on top when the yellow flag waves? It looks like Monsieur by just a nose ahead.
That was aggressive by Montreal, but I don't think he had a choice right there. He had to slow down the number 99 of Conan somehow. I think the only option he had at that point is maybe slow the car down by physically slowing the car down. I think the number 17 was hoping for some sort of collision there. Didn't quite materialize for the 17. But I don't think he's complaining, Sagar. Starting with such old tires and getting that many points at the end of the stage. Really, hats off to all these drivers. Everyone did an amazing job, a phenomenal job working with what they had. And now I think it's the time for everybody to pit and replace those tires. I don't see anybody staying out.
I think it's time for everybody to take a break, ourselves included. If you're watching here on Esports Edge, we're going to take a quick ad break during this pit stop cycle. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks. But the order still stands. Lucas Monsieur is the one on top for the stage break. What a phenomenal run from Lucas. I mean, just a phenomenal run from the entire field, truly. This time by the drivers have just been so well executed and so well thought out. They've done an amazing job time and time again, but I mean, with a pack this big, it's just been phenomenal to see how they've made it to the stage break. Sai, what does the tower tell us now as we take a look at the best lap times from the field? To me, it tells me a story that the drivers haven't really fallen into the right position on track based on where they're supposed to be based on their pace, right? Look at Jason Trocchi, for example, a half second faster than Pedro Piera, Katharina Geisler. You know, he should be up there with Marcus Hagman with a 31-0 as well. And look at Fassenmacher down in 13th position. Trucker as well, 30.8, but involved in incidents earlier on in this event have just taken others out of contention. But it's these stage breaks are beautiful because what it does is allows drivers who have run cleanly to get their dividends, right? They get their stage break points. It allows drivers that have been involved in earlier incidences the opportunity to catch back up and stay on the lead lap. No shade thrown, but I'm looking at you, Tom Bryant. You know, he's back on the lead lap and can fight for the top 10 at the end of the day.
Definitely, you have a interesting progression throughout the race. I mean, what happens at the beginning of the race is by no means a confirmation of what's going to happen. You know, 160 laps later, that's a lot of laps to go around on a racetrack like this. It's a lot of concentration that's going to go in. So yeah, things can go all over the place. But yeah, everybody is pitted. Matthew Fenstermacher alone, 78 was the lap when he last pitted. He's 3 laps down. So definitely some damage there. We start the final race, the final stage, the final part, the second half of this race. We're under green flag conditions. Montresor getting a good start, a great start off of P1 right there. The 99 hanging back a little bit, and immediately the 98 up front taking that high lane. So he's learned what he needs to do with his tires right now. We know what he can do with worn tires. Let's see what he can do with fresh tires. Let's see how much of an advantage he can build on the cars behind. As I say that, almost a second at this point.
As we go back to green, here's Ted Edwards in the number 80 in 6th position. A drive that's not too shabby. It's 8 positions gained for the man in purple or maroon, the Dr. Pepper color, whatever it shall be. But he's made amazing strides in this event and takes avoiding action of the 32 and goes down low and side. That's exactly what happens when you say nice things about a driver.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you say nice things about a driver. But I'm just kidding. It looks like something happened there. Did the 88 cut across the racetrack? Almost looked like the number 80 got clipped in the front of the front right of the car by the 88 coming down out of turn number 2, I believe. Let's see what happened there.
Taking a look here at what happened, but the track, it looks like the incident has already happened, actually, so we won't be able to get a replay of that, unfortunately. But here is Ted Edwards recovering and getting back on to the lead lap. The number 80 running pretty stern right now, but up the front, it's still Montresor. Driver from, well, I believe that's the French flag. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Frenchman leading the pack right now.
We saw the 56 of Higgins just pulling over to the side after the restart. Could that have been some sort of hardware failure? It's probably that. I don't see any other reason to pull over to the side. But unfortunately, the number 56 of Higgins is now out of the race, and its fencer marker still 3 laps down. I think with this caution, fencer marker is going to gain a lap. He's going to have to pray for 2 more cautions to get back on lead.
But pit lane starts to become alive as Katrina Geisler, Pedro Piera, and Ted Edwards all decide it's time to switch out the rubber beneath them, fuel up, and get ready for this final stage.
All the drivers now just trying to get as much of an advantage as they can, but all of them are going to have to pit again. 81 laps is simply too many laps to do on one set of tires. We're going to have a lot of chaos. I hope not, but if drivers stay out that long till the end of the race, I don't see any of them actually having enough grip. But let's see what the drivers predict. They're the ones in the cars. They're the ones who know what the racetrack feels like, how much it's changed since the start of the race. Potentially, you're going to have enough grip now that it's rubbered in.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how it fares for the field. As you can see there, the final stage, 87 laps to the final checkered flag, and that's math, you know, cocktail math. I cannot do. I may be Indian, but I can't do cocktail math, but computer math I can settle with, and the math there does not lie. But in our 8th caution now, we settle in for the 87 lap run to the checkered flag. Speaking of 87, we're on it right now, so 80 laps left to go. Here we are, the pace lights about to go out and get squared up. Noah's Ark formation. You know, Sai, the 98 and the 99 sure have been the talk of the town tonight, haven't they?
Yep, the 98 and the 99 have basically battled it all the way, but I wouldn't discount the number 17 either. Very impressive drive from all these 3 drivers. The last stage was a pleasure to watch, just with how intense, but also just how clean those top 3 were. But if we go further down the field, you have the number 95, who, despite his adventures with the wall, has also had a pretty good race. It looks like all the 90 cars have had nice races. And the one car we need to keep an eye on, and you can never discount him, well, because you never really should or will, is the number 12 of Marcus Hagman. He always pulls the craziest maneuver towards the end of the race. So let's see what he does. I think a lot of these drivers are going to have to pay attention to perhaps the most experienced driver on this field, see what he does strategy-wise. The winner of this race, Sauger, is going to be the one that pits at the right time in this stage. It's as simple as that. You need to have the right amount of tire life and the right amount of an advantage. It's going to be very dynamic, and the craziest part is you can't predict it. One thing you can predict, it's going to go green shortly.
As we get ready to go green, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be your host here at AK Esports. It's green, green, green with the 17 and the 99 being left in the dust by the 98, who takes off again and again during these restarts. We said it during the keys to the race. We'll say it again. He needs to control the traction beneath him, and he does so with perfection. Leaving the 99 to tussle with the 17 is exactly the way he needed it to go. Speaking of tussles and friends, the 95 of Luke Byrne having a time with Javi Sierra in the 79, who's actually duking it out now with Katharina Geisler, another friend of Init Esports.
So many battles going down as we go further through the field, but good to see everybody's keeping it cleanly. Everyone's nailed the start this time around. Everyone's got fresh tires now, so there's little that you can lean on as an excuse to spin out, apart from maybe some visibility issues. That's not the case anymore, as the field seems to be spread out quite evenly now. It's almost single file all around, no 2 wide or 3 wide battles at the moment. As I say that, we do have a challenge for the lead up ahead. The number 99 going as far to the outside as possible, maintaining as much momentum, saving every little bit of tire life possible. And you see this, the lead change finally happened now. The 98 has conceded first place to Kunin up ahead.
Kunin doing a great job this time around in the stage. He's up to first. But like he said, let's not count out the likes of Lohonis in the number 17. And then it's always you three, but it's always Marcus Hagman causing trouble here at Init Esports. The NASCAR champion comes back to reign again. But look at Lohonis with a run on the 98. Coming into 3, he's going to try to get the drive out of turn 4. 160 miles an hour at the exit of turn number 4. That's fantastic of a speed to carry. And now he looks to the inside line on the 99, but he can't have it both ways.
All the action going on in front. I saw some smoke towards the tail end of the pack. Someone hit the wall again. I don't want to point out who, but there might be a good chance we know who that is. But there was some collision at the wall at the back and some smoke. Luckily, no one spun out as it stands. Now, in all of this, 2 drivers that have really impressed were Lee Winter and Troki, the number 80 of Edwards, calling it quits for at least this lap right now. So he must have been the car that really collided hard with the wall. One car has been smoking in the pits for a while now. So one driver now in the pits and potentially in the pits for a while. Gonna be in the pits for a while. The battle's still going on up ahead. But I was saying, Sagar, the number 37 of Winters and the 46 of Troki. 2 drivers that have had impressive races till now. Winters especially coming from the back of the pack, and Troki having a strong, consistent run throughout this race. Those are 2 drivers you can't discount. And Katharina Geisler, she's got the freshest set of tires right now, so she has the biggest advantage here. She plays her cards right. She can also get up to the front pack, and then it's just a matter of everybody pitting at the right time. And that's going to be the most exciting part. I think this pack is going to split into two different packs going for 2 different strategies. That's when things start getting interesting, because that's when things become unpredictable.
What about the temperature, Sai? What about the temperature? Translate that into what the drivers are feeling right now.
Those are very hot track conditions. If that's 44 degrees Celsius, that is hot for this track. That's going to be problematic. Yes, it is 46 Celsius. That is a very, very warm racetrack. No wonder cars are sliding all over the place. No wonder you're shredding through those tires within 10 laps. This is what it's all about. This is what you have to do at Charlotte. You have to manage tires. It's a different ball game altogether. This is not Daytona. This is not about the car with the best slingshot, the best drafting partner at the end of the day. It's a car that has the most tires. And as it stands, the number 12 seems to have cracked the code and starting to put pressure on the 99.
I laugh and chuckle because we said it at the beginning of the race. I mean, what else is there to say? Marcus Hagman was conserving his tires and the strategy this entire time. He wins here. Whoa, look at that in the background. Lucas Monsieur, Jason Trocky, excuse me, Kathleen Geiser, Luke Byrne, and Avi Sierra, 2x2. This isn't an In-N-Out burger, folks. Settle down.
What a drive it would be if any of these 4 drivers make it to the front and win. That would be so cool in the standing, the way it shuffles around. But all these 4 drivers have had incredible adventures throughout this race. I mean, if they work together, they can all be in the midst for a win. Just imagine how cool that would be if we had all of these drivers all the way down till P8 battling it out for the lead. You know, spaced within about 1 second, 8 cars crossing the finish line. I mean, could you ask for a better finish here at Charlotte? I couldn't.
It seems to be the case that whenever I say nice things about drivers, bad things happen. Whenever you predict things, they tend to happen. As we see here, Marcus Hagman going for the lead with Thomas Konen right now. Unbelievable drive from Marcus Hagman. I want to see the timeline and details from Marcus Hagman. Look! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, what a tale to tell. Going all the way down the order on lap 30 with a repair back to back, coming back through the field around on lap 80. The trend continues forward all the way up until we scatter to lap 2. And do we have drivers diving into the pits right now?
That was at the back straight. Drivers probably getting loose there, and drivers following each other, getting loose as well, following suit. I think that was a blue car. So was that Trucky?
Jason
Ted
Trucky
Edwards
getting loose, maybe? That makes sense.
Yeah, I believe that was Trucky. Yeah, that was a blue and black car there of Trucky, and I think Luke Byrne followed him a bit, but then caught that car once again. So everyone's back up to speed right now. Katharina Geisler leading this train, and they need to start working together. Even if they don't catch this pack, we did see this happen, remember, at Daytona, Sagar, where we had 2 packs of cars, both with about 4 cars, and the pack that got the strategy right gained almost 10 seconds by the end of the race. So, even being 5 seconds off right now is not a big deal, because if you pull the better strategy, you could find yourself ahead of what has been probably the strongest pack this race. These top 4 drivers absolutely giving it all drivers really, really proficient in saving tires. We had Koonin, who was charging from the beginning. Marcus Hagman, who we know is always around to put his name in the midst. Montresor, probably the driver with the best tire conservation skills on this racetrack. The number 17 of Lonis, who's had the most clean race of the lot, and has just been holding his ground ever since the beginning of stage 2, I believe. So,
speaking of running clean, that was not clean. Marcus Hagman was getting very flirty with the barriers there. Naughty, Marcus Hagman. Very naughty, my friend.
He's managed to pull it together as of now, but look at how much time that cost him. About 2 seconds there. Look at the, well, not 2 seconds, but at least almost a second, because he was way up front. He was close to the 99 of Koonin. Now has to make all that time back by just driving, doing what he does best, driving, trying to make up ground here. And you just see from this view how close he can actually get. This is an interesting chance to see how different lines fare for different drivers, and also for different sort of momentum trajectories that these drivers are holding right there. As of now, Hagman did not get a good run out of that corner, at least not with not in comparison to the 17. Looks like all drivers are just sort of locked into their own position at the moment. We know that's not going to be the case. 62 laps looks like a long time, but with how short this racetrack is, those laps are going to go down much faster than you think.
Yeah, the laps are going to trickle away faster than we anticipate, but on board with Lones here, we look forward at Lucas Montesor, the driver who's been out here to impress us probably the most with a positive gain of 8. is definitely out there to show his stripes and looking good. Definitely going out for the win of that Bubba Myers paint scheme. And this might be the best view of his attack. Coming down on Thomas Conan into 3. It will be side by side, and they rub paint jobs. And good thing they aren't Bubba Meyer paint jobs, because those might be a little bit worse for wear by the end of this one.
It's fitting the driver that attacks the most and rubs the most paint is the one that wins the paint scheme. It's a good reward.
They'll need it.
A lot of now, I mean, Montesor now lost 2 positions on that lap. So maybe he's just taking some time now to cool those tires, to maybe get a different view of the race. Because sometimes it's a bit lonely, a bit boring, right? To just see clean racetrack in front of you. And once in a while, you want to see the bumper of the car ahead, just to get the adrenaline back up.
No,
Going on
I'm
the
okay.
inside now.
I don't think the drivers want to see the bumper ahead, especially in that instance where the 98, that fishtailing bumper in front of the 17 caused him to have a bit of a gold brown moment. And if you know, you know, folks.
Yeah, so now he's back up ahead, but he's still got that 99 to overtake. Not for long, though, as he takes that outside lane, gets a little loose, but manages to hold on. That's really interesting, Sagars. At the exit of turn 3, sorry, at the exit of turn 2 and exit of turn 4, we always see drivers getting loose. Exit of turn 4 is not really a part of the racetrack where you would expect that to happen. Turn 2 is a bit more notorious because of how aggressive the camber change is, but I'm a little confused as to what's happening at turn 4 for a lot of these drivers. Maybe that's just dirty air from the 99 up ahead. Not going to be the case for long as he tries to make a move on the inside as we go to the most narrow section of the racetrack. Who's got the upper hand here?
I think it's going to be the 98 because he's saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, and he can push the 99 out to the barriers, but the Red Dragon flames away to the pole position for the moment. He's out in front. Thomas Conan has gained 2 positions, but gets so loose on exit. He goes down below the apron, skips, hops, and jumps his way back onto the racetrack. Holy Toledo, he's still up for the medal. What?
That has to be the highlight of the race. That's got to be the best moment of the race. More so if the 99 manages to win with all of this chaos. And something I was about to say is the left side of his car right there is full of dirt and a lot of paint has been rubbed off. But then you saw the right side of his car. That's also the case. So he's been all over the place. Despite the 99 having a clean set of laps in the previous stage up front, he's been through the worst of the battles throughout this race, looking at how battered that car is. And now he decides to also hop and jump over the grass. Had a bit of mowing work done.
Man, oh man.
I see more cars getting loose. That's again turn number 2. This time he hits the wall. That's the 46 of Trocky hitting the wall, staying out of the way, but that looks like terminal damage, unfortunately, Sagar. He's going to have to pit. I don't think that's the end of the 46's run in this race, unfortunately.
And the 46 was running really well in the top 10 and in the top 10 of the championship standings as well. So let's see what his teammates can do on the racetrack for the JetFab organization to get themselves a little further up in the standings. But right now it's Thomas Conan in his number 99 trying to challenge up the road to the number 98. But look at this. In the mix is a Dr. Pepper machine that shouldn't be here. The number 80 of Ted Edwards caught up in the mix. The battle for the lead now contains a back marker sign. How do we dissect this one?
It does get a bit tricky, especially when the back marker has fresher tires than you. It's good to see Ted Edwards back in the race. We saw him pit many laps ago, trying to fix some damage. But it's good to see that he's committed to finishing this race. We always love to say that. What I don't think the front pack would love to see is a back marker getting in the way. doesn't seem to be in the way right now. Ted Edwards having incredible pace in the number 80 Dr. Pepper car as it stands. The front pack right now just sort of settling in. Hagman giving a bit of space to the cars up ahead. Winters further back. So Winters and Katharina Geisler, two drivers we cannot discount here. And also Luke Byrne, anybody in the top 7, Sagar. Like I mentioned, anyone there has a chance. Two drivers we haven't seen for a while on screen. Tom Bryant and Sierra having a lonely race at the back of the pack, but all things considered, they're not too far back either. 12 seconds looks like a lot, but with what's happening in this race, everyone's going to start bunching up together right now. People need to be cautious. I think Ted Edwards' presence at the front of the pack is going to start feeding its influence into what happens to the rest of the drivers' races.
And looking at the lap times, they're just about matching each other, Tom Bryant and Javi Sierra, so that battle won't go anywhere anytime soon. We look on ahead to this battle, as this one doesn't go anywhere anytime soon either. But like you said, we definitely can't discount these two or any of the pairings out on the racetrack. Katharina Geisler and Luke Byrne, the drivers paired up together right now. Luke Byrne taking repairs last time he was in the pits by the looks of it. And Katharina Geisler taking fuel and back out onto the racetrack on lap number 31.
Smart decision there, taking only fuel gives you more options. You don't have to pit as early as everybody else. And I think that's what Katharina Geisler is going to do. And we've seen her do this before in previous races. She tends to stay out as long as she can towards the second half of the race, and tends to get fresh tires at the end. You're going to have to time this properly, though, if you're Katharina Geisler, because if you do it at the right time, you could potentially win this race. And what a story that would be to come back from 8 seconds off the leader to win this race. Luke Byrne did a fast repair, it looks like, in the previous pit, so doesn't have as many options as Geisler, so he might have to make his own strategy call here. This is where it gets exciting, Sagar. Everybody's on a different strategy. You won't necessarily gain by just following the driver ahead of you. You're going to have to play your own game, make your own decisions, and do the best you can with what you've got.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic run so far, and the drivers have entertained us throughout the grid. The front, the middle, the back, all around. And here's the pinch across the stripe from the 99 to the 98, but room was given all the way down to the grass, but the 98 can't close down the gap on the number 99, and he stays down low to the apron where the momentum seems to be favoring him is the outside line. And there it is. The number 99 is the driver to carry the speed all the way up to 165 miles an hour without the tow, about 172 once you're in the draft.
This is just the story of the race, isn't it? The 98 and the 99 battling it out front. The 17 being the silent spectator, but not necessarily silent for long, as he starts thinking of what he's going to do to capitalize on the battle up ahead. Hagman completely dropping back 2 seconds back to P5, hanging around with Lee Winters, who's had an incredible race. Can we just once again look at the progression of Lee Winters' race? He started at the back of the pack and is now in the top 4 positions. Look at that. Not quite as adventurous as Marcus Hagman, who dived into the pits, didn't he? Someone dove into the pits there. Was that Marcus Hagman?
Yes, it was Marcus Hagman. With 45 left to go in this final stage, Marcus Hagman decides he's had enough of these tires and he might be able to pull out an undercut on the rest of the field.
For it to be an undercut, the rest of the field has to pit soon. No, yeah, I mean, it could be an undercut, but only if the drivers are forced to do it, which they might do soon. But if they have tire life and they just pit maybe 20 laps later, Marcus Hagman is going to be hung out to dry there because he's going to have very old tires. 44 laps on a final set of tires. Very unlike what we'd see Marcus Hagman do. But I'd like to see what happens here. Drivers up ahead definitely struggling now. Remember, everyone stopped on lap 81. That's a good 45, almost 45 laps back. So, yeah. Strategies coming into play here. Let's see what happens.
This trio at the front Sai, unfortunately, I just cannot keep my eyes off of them. They keep on providing us with this amazing battle for the lead. We manifested that third car earlier on. Lee Winters getting involved. Now, again, we have the 99, Thomas Coonan, providing us with all the action. The Red Dragon flaming up the racetrack tonight and into the lead of this one in front of Lucas Monsieur, who just a moment was in P2, now goes wheel to wheel with the 17 of Travis Lahonis. And the battle for P2 and P3 is still undecided. Katrina Geisler now into the pits. So now we have about 42 laps left to go in this one. If we don't get a caution, this is about where we would take our last break before the end of the race.
So we look at everybody who is in contention potentially for a win. Goes all the way down to P9 of Luke Byrne, who's the first to pit in the second, or I'd say this last round of pit stops. So it's definitely not second. It's almost like the fifth pit stop for everyone. Luke Byrne pitted on lap 119. Marcus Hagman pitted on lap 122. Katrina Geisler after that. And amongst all of them, Katrina Geisler is the one that lost out the most. And was that a yellow flag momentarily? It is a yellow flag. What happened there?
I'm trying to find out. Was it Jordan Anthony Higgins having a moment? But that was on lap 50. Let's see if we can decipher what happened and get everybody caught up. Matthew Fassenmacher is the driver to have crashed. Let's get a replay of what happens here to the number 45, who looks like he's already damaged. So we'll have to go back a little further than that.
Perhaps in the process of actually slowing down. There we go.
He starts
He had
to get
damage on
loose.
the front left, right? The front left was what was damaged. So.
Yeah. So big hit.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh, that's a bad hit right there. That's a tremendous crash. That would be incredibly scary in real life. It's not a nice sight at all.
Scary in the sim, even. Scary in real life. Scary in the sim. So, Sai, now that we have this basically stage break for the drivers to come down pit road for free, what does it mean for the drivers that just came down pit lane?
It's bad news, I'm afraid. It's just bad timing right there. Of all the drivers that came down pit lane, I think all of them were a lap down, including Marcus Hagman. Lucky for him, he's the leading driver in that pack. So if the lucky dog rule is still in effect, he is going to get back on the lead lap. Unfortunately, however, Katrina Geisler and Luke Byrne would be a lap down. That's what the timing tower said before the start, before the caution came out. But I don't know if that again got neutralized or not. Looks like it's still in effect. It says 1 minute 34 seconds of the leader at safety car pace. Let's just wait for the timing towers to shuffle around. But if I'm not wrong, Marcus Hagman is the only one that's going to get that wave around. Unfortunately, Sierra, Geisler, and Byrne will be a lap down. It's just terrible timing because they had a good race set up for them, if that is the case. Right now, it only shows Luke Byrne 1 lap down. Let's hope that's the case, Sagar, because then everybody will be back on the lead lap and everyone will be on the same set of tires. It could be anybody's game. Think how exciting that would be. About 40 laps left for the race and anybody in the top 10 can win it.
I don't think we have to really think or worry about it. It seems to be the case of it's about to happen. As we get ready to go green, we'll definitely get a wave around procedure in effect for the field as we have the leaders caught out between themselves and the pace car. So wave around now. In fact, you can see the 79 going through next to be through. Will of course be the number 32 to get their instructions to pass the safety car.
32. So it looks like Luke Byrne is the one that lost out there because it looks like Katrina Geisler was the driver that got the wave around with the lucky dog rule.
Well, wave around because they were between the pace car and the leader, right?
I don't think that matters. I think the lucky dog rule just applies to anybody in the pack. The first one a lap down, but I could be wrong
Regardless.
there.
Okay.
But yeah, regardless, looks like Byrne has lost out there, which is a real shame. I really wanted Luke Byrne to also get back on that lead lap. So anybody who was just a lap off, if they were back on the lead lap, I mean, he's had a tremendous race given all the adventures he's been through, and now he's actually going to play a bigger role here in the end of the race for some of these other drivers. Because look at that, Marcus Hagman is behind him on this restart.
Interesting stuff. Let's get ready to go green. Marcus Hagman sits behind the number 95 as we get ready to go green. A little pushing and shoving into the restart zone. The 17 anticipated that one a little bit quicker than most. Travis Lahonas takes the green flag a little bit eagerly.
I'm looking at that timing tower. Who are we missing there? Montresor is not in the top 3. He's down in P6. But I don't think he'll have an issue with that at the moment because he is following Marcus Hagman, who's going to punch his way through, essentially, through the racetrack. Now 98 on the outside of Luke Byrne, gaining some momentum, trying to work with Tom Bryant, who we always say this. Tom Bryant was plumb last at the end of the first stage, and he's now battling for the lead. It's always Tom Bryant who goes all over the place and finds himself at the front of the pack. But this is how it stands. The 98 now forced on the inside. The two purple cars are going to have to now work together to get up ahead.
Let's see if they can work together or if they'll be apart. A couple of amigos on the racetrack, the 95 and the 42, find themselves trying to occupy a little bit of real estate adjacent to each other. But here and now, it's Katrina Geisler and Javi Sierra trying to decipher who's the faster of the few as they battle for 7th and 8th.
Javi Sierra has been basically invisible the entire race, biding away his time. And now he's going to start having to work with Katrina Geisler to get up ahead. He got loose there through the exit of turn number 2, which is another interesting spot where a lot of drivers seem to be getting loose. And yeah, he's now lost a bit of time as well. So Sierra has to clean up some of his lines there if he wants to get back up ahead. 4 seconds is not too bad at the moment, but every lap that goes by, you're losing out a lot of time. The top 3 now working together. It's going to get incredibly difficult for drivers to get back up ahead. Montresor also potentially risking losing that draft as it stands. Hagman also is starting to get a little anxious right now. Let's see what happens here. Lee Winters now in 3rd position. What a story that would be if he wins this race.
Winters, that number 37. Let's take a look at his timeline as well. What a tremendous run from Winters from the back of the pack. Worked his way forward, but continues his charge. Currently running in 3rd position right now. So not too shabby of a job. 3 drivers battling for the lead as they all fan out, trying to find a little bit of clean air coming out of turn 4 as they get a little bit drafty with it.
If all the drivers are in a voice call together, I'd love to be a part of that because it'd be pretty interesting to hear what they're saying to each other right now. I could imagine it's probably dead silent as it stands with everyone locked in and focused, especially these top 3. I don't think any of them
gets so loose coming out of turn number 4. Did you see that, Sai? Holy smokes, he's going to lose out. Yeah, but
that
what
was
a save.
very loose.
Holy
it's again
Toledo.
Turn number 4. Always catching drivers out. Turn number 4. Something about that corner. Is it the excitement of finishing another lap? Is it the anticipation of having to really set up your car? Remember, that's probably the hardest corner to set up for, is going into turn number 1. So what you do on the main straight determines basically the rest of your lap. So there are a lot of elements at play there, and I think a lot of that factors into your mindset and mentality getting out of turn number 4. But as it stands, the 17 has found his rhythm once again, but is now locked down on the bottom lane. We saw this with the 17. He had a bad experience of staying on the bottom lane a few laps in stage number 1. And I don't think that's where he wants to be. We've seen him stay to the outside. But again, Sagar, every driver that goes on the outside lane risks spinning at the exit of turn number 4. This is a very difficult position to be in. Difficult lanes to choose. All the more difficult with the 2 drivers you see coming up at the back of the pack. There we go. Marcus Hagman and Montesor back in the lead pack.
Gosh darn it. It's always Mr. Tom Bryant, isn't it? Let's take a look at the driver ahead comparison. That'll be Marcus Hagman. He's losing a little bit of time, but does he have a chance to get into the top 3 before the end of this? I know we're sick and tired of talking about our favorite producer, Tom Bryant, who is a great guy, I will admit. But does he have a chance for the top 3? I want to be honest here. I love him to death, but he could definitely get a good haul of points tonight by the looks of it, Si. I don't want to say nice things about a guy while he's not here to defend himself, but Tom Bryant is sitting pretty for a top 5 finish and a good haul of points. But the draft playing a big part that you spoke about earlier, he's about 4/10 back right now. Let's look on board with him as he goes through, and the cockpit view will tell the tale of, can he catch this back in front? And what do you do after that? Because catching is one thing, passing a whole nother ball game.
You have some titans up front, so once you get up to that back, it's not easy picking. You have Marcus Hagman, Montesor, Lee Winters, and of course you have the number 99 up ahead as well. So some very difficult drivers to have to battle with. Or then I'm pretty sure I missed a name there because there are 5 of those cars. Sorry if I missed the name, but you know what I mean. There are 5 very, very competitive and motivated drivers up ahead. Tom Bryant is not really losing out on this pack, which is good news for him, but he needs to pick his lines properly. And the one saving grace is Marcus Hagman sort of going all over the place. The car up ahead of him is that is a
Lee Winters.
Was that Lee Winters? Yeah, he got a little loose here. It's probably a good thing for Tom Bryant here. But yeah, I think Tom probably has to stick to that outside lane to gain a bit of momentum. Holding the inside is not really working for the time being. We're going to have to see what happens. I'd like to say we can see the sheer determination and focus on Tom Bryant's face, or his virtual face, but all you see is a tinted visor. So,
we can see through the visor. We can see his emotions, the ferocity in his veins as he pumps it around the racetrack. And Chase is a good friend of his, Marcus Hagman, and a good friend of Init Esports. I want to say thank you very much to all the Init Esports drivers showing up and showing out. Whether you're a part of the team or just showing up for the very first time, we appreciate everything you guys do. Extend my gratitude as well to all the admins behind the scenes providing us with amazing leagues and broadcasting assets. Thank you very much to AK Esports, our sponsor for tonight, providing us with the broadcast and coverage.
Tom Bryant still losing out a little bit there, 1.8 seconds off right now. So his race is starting to unravel slowly but surely.
But it feels like, as our good friend says, it's only just begun. Because it truly has feel like it's only just begun, Si. We only have 22 laps remaining, but a blink of an eye ago, and the race had just started, and the order of operations just was a lot different than what we see the pending results at right now. Lucas Montesor up 7, Travis Lajonas up 4, the big contender Lee Winters up 12. But Marcus Hagman and Tom Bryant down a few. That's not what we expected, is it?
Not at this stage, but yeah, 21 laps is still a hefty number of laps to go. despite being such a short racetrack. I think 10 laps to go is where things start getting a little feisty. But yeah, these drivers need to set themselves up right now because Kunin is starting to run away with this. And yeah, if nobody challenges, if no one works together, Lee Kunin is going to, Thomas Kunin is going to just cruise to victory at this point.
I don't think the drivers in the rest of the field are going to let them just walk away with it that easily. I think everybody sees the writing on the wall and that they need to start working together. It's like the fish in Finding Nemo. Swim together. Swim together. Everybody as a pack, working together, stronger together than alone. If you leave Thomas Kunin out to dry, Lucas Montesor. Speaking, monsieur, you need to be careful of the barriers there.
Somehow didn't lose any time. Look at that. He's still firmly ahead of P17. And more importantly, he didn't lose any time to Thomas Kunin there. Look at the lap times. I think that's the previous lap times. But yeah, Kunin is from 2 tenths ahead. Look at the difference in lap times now. Look at how much slower everyone was in that lap. Everyone's about a second slower than before. Are the tires just hitting a cliff right now? Surely that's the case if you're going to lose 1 second between your previous lap and your current one.
And no one took a late strategy except for Luke Byrne. He came in on lap 147, the latest of the pit stoppers from what I can tell, other than Pedro Piero, who's in the pits right now for a long time. He's been in there for about 34 minutes or so with a meatball flag. But Lee Winters still in this one, challenging Marcus Hagman for position and out for blood this evening, as the red striped car has a little bit of damage on it from some earlier scuffs. But surprisingly, Sai, this has been one of the cleanest NASCAR truck races I have seen, despite what the progress bar says.
Certainly very clean, especially at the front of the pack. As I say that, Marcus Hagman once again trading paint with that concrete wall on the outside. And right now, losing a bit of time as well, losing a position to number 37. I expected drivers to start actually utilizing the tires that they've saved up till now. It's not yet materialized. I'll tell you one person it's materializing for. That is Tom Bryant, as he makes a move on Marcus Hagman now and will get ahead as it stands. No, he does not. He still has Marcus Hagman on the outside, but he's starting to chase drivers down. He's starting to vie for some serious points here. It's a good view to see what's happening up ahead. Looks like number 99 is still firmly holding his spot ahead of the driver behind. Very spread out, Sagar. I expected some more maneuvers to come into place right now. Still have a few laps to see something happen.
Still have a few laps to see some action happen indeed. And here's where it is. It's the battle for the lead between Kunin and Montesor and Travis Lojones. The 17, the 98, and the 99 are the drivers that are going to duke it out here for the Init Esports NASCAR Truck Series.
Yeah, it's basically stalemate as it stands, with no driver having a drafting partner or some sort of a tire advantage to get ahead. And you still see the side-by-side battle between Tom Bryant and Marcus Hagman brewing. I don't see that going away anytime soon. If they catch up to the 37 ahead, I think they have a chance of catching the front pack. Otherwise, it looks like it's Kunin's race to lose.
Hagman and Tom Bryant about matching in their pace over the last 5 laps or so. And they should decide to work together, as we only have 12 remaining in the event. Hagman gets super loose on exit at 2. And here's where Tom Bryant can pick up the pieces and decide if he wants to help or hurt the cause. He decides to go the long way around the outside and try to work that wheel. But up ahead, Travis Kunin and Lucas Montresor go wheel to wheel themselves coming through the first couple of corners.
Yep, 11 laps to go. Now is when drivers start utilizing the tires that they've saved. Any little bit of advantage they have on the drivers ahead. And now you see it, Lucas Montresor right there behind Thomas Kunin, and Lohner's also starting to position his car. He's been in P3 for most of this race, seeing these two duke it out. But perhaps now he's learned enough of their patterns to predict what they're going to do and potentially get himself up there. Because remember, we've got a very close finish for Daytona, and we potentially will have that here as well. We'd see drivers going side by side there. These are perfect sort of opportunities for the 17 to start making some positions.
10 laps remain in this race as the drivers are fighting for the Bubba Myers Custom Designs paint scheme for the winner of the championship here at Init Esports, presented by AK Esports and our partners over at eClutch, Esports Edge, and Roku. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support and love in the chat as well. We haven't forgotten about you. There's a touch from the 98 into the 99 at turn 3, and the yellow flag flies with just a few laps remain.
So unfortunate for the number 99. Also unfortunate for Tom Bryant, who just slammed into the 99 as they went through that corner. He's probably got severe front end damage from that. But this is going to bunch up the field again. I don't think we have enough laps for it to completely go into green-white checker. But we're only going to have about 4 or 5 laps of green flag racing with this caution coming out right now. Let's see what happened here. The number 98 getting down on the inside. I think the 99 cut down. The 98 just had too much speed and rammed into the back. I think that's, again, just a racing incident, at least from this camera angle. Maybe from a cockpit view, we could see some more, get some more insights. But from that angle, it just looked like a speed difference that couldn't be calculated between the drivers.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah, so I think the speed that the 99 was carrying was just shed off when he cut down to the inside, and that small difference in speed was enough for the car behind the number 98 of Montresor to just get into the back. If we retain positions when the caution came out, yes, the 99 can make it back up. But if not, the whole field dives down pit road. Everyone wants fresh tires, and that's what they're going to get.
Oh my goodness, look at this field. Litter pit road with rubber tires that have been expunged for the last 40 or so laps. They have been worse for wear on tires. This is the blessing that they have all been asking for, a little bit of reprieve from the hecticness as we get ready to go. Green flag running in a couple of laps. The drivers all have new tires beneath them. Does the order change at all? Let's run through it. Lucas Montresor, Lee Winters, Travis Lahonis, Marcus Hagman, always the number 12. Thomas Kunin, Katharina Geisler. How did you end up here? 6 positions gained on the evening. What a tremendous run for Katharina. Started in 12th position, now running in 6th. Look at that graph, my brother. Holy Toledos are definitely out for the Init Esports driver.
She's a driver to keep an eye on right now in this restart, because if the drivers up ahead start squabbling and messing around and not getting clean getaways, she's going to gain a lot of points here. She could potentially win the race. She's always been there with her different sort of strategy approach, and she has the cards in hand right now to potentially win this. Luke Byrne, I believe, is also back on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken, or will get the wave around, because when all these drivers were in the pit, he was flying around. I think he's going to get that wave around right now. If all of these drivers get on the lead lap, Sagar, is going to be the finish that we've been asking for. Let's just hope we don't get locked into a green-white checker circle.
I think Tom Bryant would actually be, or is the driver to get back onto the lead lap right now as they all get squared up. So Bryant will be in front of Luke Byrne on the restart there, or at least adjacent to him on this run. So we've got 8 drivers signed up, ready to rock for the last few laps of this event. Ty, all the strategy, all the predictions, everything that we've worked towards, it goes out the window when you have a last lap dash like this, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this is we always see this happen. We see a caution this late in the race. We know the driver that knows how to pick up the pieces. That's that menacing number 12, looming in the mirrors of Lee Winters, who's had the most incredible climb up the field. We go green for potentially the last time in this race. Just a handful of laps left and a big launch, a mega launch from Lucas Montesor up ahead. Drivers already battling around. 99 of Conan getting on the grass, but holding it steady as it stands, getting a decent run now on the inside line. Lee Winters losing out a bit. The number 17 of Lonis, the driver that's been in 3rd place throughout this race, has a potential chance now. The 99 getting loose and completely losing momentum. That's potentially his race over as it stands. Katrina Geisler up ahead in P5 getting a decent launch right now. But as it stands, Lucas Montesor has gotten the monster launch, the launch he could have dreamed for. The best launch he could have dreamed for is what he got on that restart. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Montesor running away with the victory 4 laps ago? Or will Winters and Lonis have something to say about it? Let's wait and see what happens as they get down onto the back straight.
Want to extend my gratitude to all the drivers who have showed up and showed out for tonight's event. Just doubling our results or doubling our participation from last time has been tremendous. Thank you, everybody, for your love and support here at Init Esports. You guys are the reason we do what we do. Newcomers coming to the field, taking away championship points from those that have been here from the beginning. Let's see how that fares as the season goes on for the inaugural NASCAR Truck Series, brought to you by Init Esports. Right now, it's the number 98 of Lucas Montesor, who leads the charge in front of Travis Lahonis, Lee Winters, and Marcus Hagman. Definitely want something to say about it as we are about to take the white flag, Ty.
2 to go, and it looks like it is Montesor firmly in control, but you have to be careful about that turn number 2, as we've so often seen. Also turn number 4. Now this is where your concentration plays a big role. You need to maintain the same level of calm that you had throughout this race. And you look at that, look at Marcus Hagman now starting to make a run out there. White flags out, a firm difference in pace, a firm lead for Montesor, 2/10. Is it going to be just a bit too late for Lonis to catch up? He has the outside line, is now starting to close in. He's got one shot at this. He's got to position himself perfectly. He gets into the slipstream, gets onto the outside, holds the outside lane, but it looks like Montesor's holding that inside lane, and he's going to take the victory away. Sagar, let's wrap this up.
Lucas Montesor across the line on lap 67 and take the victory here with Init Esports. What a tremendous run at the end of the evening. Holy Toledos are definitely out for the number 98 to finish things off as strong as he did. Definitely deserves his congratulations at the end of the night. What an amazing run. 9 positions gained. Travis Lahonis in P2 and Marcus Hagman rounds out the podium.
A brilliant run by the number 98. A huge haul of points. At least one stage win, if I remember. That was stage 2 going in favor of the 98. I don't think he won stage number 1, but he's got a huge haul of points and probably the winner in terms of total points hauled in this race. Marcus Hagman managing to get a P3, a little bit of a tap there between the number 98 and 99. They were racing so close throughout the race until that unfortunate incident at the end. But as the cookie crumbles, as everything falls in place. The number 98 takes away victory and enjoys burning in some donuts in what has been a very slippery racetrack all evening.
Absolutely. Go ahead and burn it down, Lucas Montresor. Enjoy your victory here, sir. Luke Byrne also hogging some daylight there and enjoying the infield.
It's an action-packed race. Look at the progression over there. Look at that. Look at that yellow and green colored bar up on the top left. We had all sorts of action which we didn't have at Daytona. A different sort of challenge here for the drivers.
Different challenge indeed for the field as they worked through some tremendous tire wear, cautions, restarts. It was just a plethora of excitement that I think we haven't been treated to. And I genuinely mean that word. This was a treat tonight, Sai, to be able to watch these drivers go wheel to wheel, see some of our favorites chop it up like real NASCAR drivers. Katharina Geisler, Marcus Hagman, coming through the field. Look at what Lee Winters has accomplished on his debut as well. It's just been amazing to see what they can do, and I cannot wait to see what they can do next time we go racing in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely. The top three had brilliant races, as we see that the podium finishers are all, way up there. But you really cannot ignore the accomplishment of Lee Winters and Katharina Geisler making their way through the field, being patient with their strategy, being patient with their battles, just being consistent. And we've seen this time and time again. Consistency is what gets you points. Consistency is what gets you finishes here in the truck series that we've been running at Init Esports.
Yeah, it really has been a tremendous run for the drivers from green to checkered flag this entire time. I mean, they really have showed us what they're capable of doing, haven't they? I mean, just really every step of the way, they have been challenged time and time again, and they will continue to be challenged throughout this. But with that being said, let's look at the challenge that they just got through and the race results here. Lucas Montresor with 62 laps led, took the victory when it mattered most. Travis Lahonis, his driver in the 17, come home in second. Marcus Hagman recovered to third position. Lee Winters is the hard charger this evening, and Thomas Coonan gets most laps led in the number 99, but not when it mattered most at the end of the evening. It ended up going to Montresor, who had the fastest lap, and pole position going out to Michael S. Trucker, who fell out of the race early on in the event. Lee Winters in fourth place, Katharina Geisler with a definitely dominant fifth place, Javi Sierra in sixth, Thomas Coonan in seventh, Tom Bryan in eighth, Luke Bryan in ninth, Ted Edwards rounds out the top 10 side.
Yep, Katharina Geisler and Javi Sierra having very consistent races. Javi Sierra working from the back of the pack and really making his maneuvers shine, getting all the way up to P6 and getting some good points. Very unfortunate for Thomas Coonan having led most of this race and then then getting spun basically and spinning out and losing out a lot of points towards the end. Tom Bryan and Luke Byrne having unfortunate ends to their evenings as well. Luke Byrne charging from the beginning, but just somewhere got caught out with a pit strategy issue and just got a lap down. If he were on the lead lap, he'd be up there in terms of consistent finishes, such as Katharina Geisler and Sierra. Ted Edwards obviously wrapping up the top 10, 21 laps down. We lost quite a lot of drivers throughout this race, unfortunately, many of them finishing out of the 40 lap range from the leaders. But all in all, an action-packed race and a lot of drivers who have a lot to be proud of, having accomplished what they did over these 167 laps.
You say that so casual. This is 167 laps. That was basically 2 hours of non-stop racing. Charlotte demands so much from the drivers, and these guys did it with so much style and grace tonight. We're waiting on to our interviewee, Lucas Montresor. If he wants to come in to the green room, we'll gladly go ahead and talk to him in a second. Right now, the results are going to stand. And look at that. We do have a stewards review, so make sure that if you have any tickets that you'd like to protest, make sure you get them in as soon as possible. Tom Bryant will be the driver to take care of that, or the admin, I should say, to take care of that for us. But what a run, Cy, and what a championship we are about to have.
Some new names we didn't have last time around. Koonin in the number 99. We also got confirmation, and thanks for letting us know this. It is pronounced Low Nice. So thank you, Travis Low Nice, for correcting us. And that's what we want to know. We want to know exactly how to pronounce all of your names so we can bring the best presentation here in Init Esports. But yeah, Lucas Montresor, Travis Lonice, and the number 99 of Koonin were the drivers that really stood out today. The top three battling it out at the front of the pack. Three drivers we didn't see last time. So we have a lot of drivers now battling for that title. Marcus Hagman already got a lot of points last time, and I think he's leading the championship now with the P3 here, P3 finish here. We didn't have Peter Helmbro on track today, but he was P2 after last week's race, or the race a couple of weeks ago. So Sagar, some new championship contenders here. I mean, if we have a 5-way, a 10-way battle for a championship by the end of the 10th round, that's gonna be the best championship we could ask for, right? I mean, just imagine how exciting that would be. Anyone could win the championship last 2 laps of the 10th round.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk to Lucas really quickly, as he did pop into the green room. Lucas, is that you, my friend? And first of all, the first question of the night is, can you help me pronounce your last name?
Yeah, that's me. You say Lucas, like Lucas, that's the French, and Montresor.
Montresor.
So it was pretty good already, so it's okay. Don't worry.
Fantastic.
Or you can translate it in my treasure in English. That's
my treasure. Well, you're definitely getting a haul of treasures tonight. That's for sure. With not only the podium but the victory tonight. How was it for your inaugural run here with Init Esports with the NASCAR Trucks series? And talk to us about your climb from 10th place to P1 at the end of the evening.
Yeah, that was a pretty good race with some nice battle. That was, I wasn't supposed to do the race. I was supposed to go at the restaurant with my wife. And then we canceled it at the last moment, so I was there. I didn't practice a lot. So yeah, that was I was discovering the grip, the track, and trying to figure it out how to be fast with that car and in this track. Sorry for my English, guys. But yeah, that was many cautions. There were many cautions at the start. That was a bit boring, and then I managed to be behind the 2 guys in front who crashed right before the stage, the first stage. So I got the free stage 1, and then I had a really, really good fight with Thomas for stage 2. And then I had really, really bad luck on the yellow. I was speeding under just before the yellow. I got a lap down. I had to do the wave. Hopefully there was not a lot of people into the lead lap and still alive. So it was easy to catch the front of the field at the restart. And then the crash. I'm sorry about that for Thomas, because we deserved a really good fight at the end of the race. But I didn't expect him to close me the door. I tried to brake, but it was too late for me to avoid him.
Well, Lucas, I think you treated us to enough excitement and well, just joy tonight that will excuse everything. In my opinion, as I said from here in the broadcast booth, it looked like a racing incident, but we'll leave that one up to the stewards to decide. But besides that, Lucas, your run to the top spot included a couple keys to the race tonight that we may have not covered. What were your keys to success in managing tires, getting through the field safely, executing caution as the better part of valor? What did you see as the number one key to your success tonight?
I'm not a fast guy, not that fast. The pole seater was really fast on short run. I was expected to save my tires. Yeah, I wanted to save my tires because I know that I'm really good on the long run. In case of if I have some short runs, I know I'm not the best on short runs, so I really try to going forward on long run. Sorry about that. I'm just not finding the good words, but yeah, I try to capitalize. Yeah, that's the good words, to capitalize on long run and try to save tires, let the guys in front fighting. The two in front of me were fighting. Then I tried to have better tires, better grip. I stick to the inside line as long as I could. And then when I feel like I had a really good tire difference to overtake, I overtook the guys. And yeah, that's how I managed my races. And that's my type of racecraft. I try to pit early to undercut and try to create some chain reaction that creates a crash at some point. But yeah, that was a really good run, really good battle, really good fight. That was an enjoyable night tonight.
I'm glad that you felt that way from the driver's perspective, and us in the broadcast booth, we felt the same way. Lucas Montresor, who would you like to shout out, or who would you like to thank tonight on the victory here in Concord, North Carolina?
I will shout out to my wife because we were supposed to go to the restaurant and then we didn't. So yeah, shout out to her. And yeah, that's it. To my team, the GRT, my French team, and the manager, I try to bring them. I coach his rookie in NASCAR, French rookies. So I try to bring them to the oval site of on iRacing, try to promote the oval in France. So yeah, shout out to them also.
Most importantly, shout out to Mrs. Montresor tonight. And you definitely owe her dinner. Thank you very much for joining us in the broadcast booth at AK Esports live from Concord, North Carolina. Have a great night, my friend, and stay safe out there. Lucas, thank you very much for supporting Init Esports.
Thank you very much. See you.
What a wonderful gentleman and a wonderful addition to our community. Doesn't it feel that way, Sai?
Absolutely. A great top tier driver. He gave a lot of exciting moments in this whole race. And he was calm. He was calm and consistent out front. Saw how he was battling with the number 99, especially in stage 2. Saw how he won it by a fraction just because of how committed he was to holding his line. That's what we like to see here in the Truck Series. And I mean, Charlotte was just
a treat.
It was amazing, like a treat. Exactly. It's the best word for this. It was an absolute treat to watch. I'm pretty sure it was an absolute treat to drive for the drivers as well.
It sounded like it. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what's upcoming here at Init Esports. We have a lot on the horizon. Tomorrow, we start things off for the Init Esports Team America Season 2 run. This is the GT3 class, of course. We start off at Indianapolis, the road course. Join us tomorrow. And then August 30th, the September 13th, September 27th, October 11th, the 25th, November 8th, finishing off in November 22nd. Some of these are TBA as we are following the iRacing calendar. So if these track combos seem a little bit familiar, well, it's because it's by design. We're running Indy, the Red Bull Ring, Suzuka, Road Atlanta, and then finishing things off at, of course, none other than the track home of Petit Le Mans. It is Road America. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Screen to Speed calendar, where we start things off on August 23rd. Alton Park, and that is going to be in the GR86. Then VIR in September 6th. Lime Rock, Throxton, Oschersleben in the Formula V's is where we start things off in that car. Then Snetterton, the 200, Tsukuba, the 2000, and Brands Hatch, the Indy layout. This is one of my most exciting championships that we cover here at Init Esports Sci. It varies and covers a variety of skills and ranges of drivers, and it provides us with some of the most unique driver bases that we've seen. It's an all-female class and division of racing that just continues to provide us with action and cool events like this. If you like what you see, make sure you get involved in esports.gg to make sure you sign up for our next event. But Sai, that leads us to our conclusion, my friend. How do you feel after
the best
tonight?
race till now. Yeah, I mean, amazing start. We had an amazing start to the season with Daytona, and this race just delivered more than what Daytona delivered, and that's what we like to see. Right? We like to see the races improve as it goes on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Indianapolis the next race? If you have a look at the
tomorrow.
Calendar, yeah. No, the next race in the Truck Series, the NASCAR Truck Series. I believe that is what it is. There we go, Indianapolis. So that's the thing. Daytona was a drafting game. It's all about getting in the draft, maintaining speed. Charlotte was a tire conservation game, focusing on the corners. Indianapolis is going to be a blend of both. You're going to have to draft on the main straight. You're going to have to focus on getting those lines right in the corners. And Sagar, potentially, we might see the first use of that, the left foot, the braking pedal. So, it's not going to be flat out completely. You're not going to just have to lift. Sometimes you're going to have to brake and slow down the car. So, yeah. We had a great race here at Charlotte, and I only see it getting better and better with the class of drivers we get on the field. We are going to have a lot of good racing coming up. And viewers, if you're watching this and you're interested in being involved, it's not too late. You can still join this championship. We're open and we're happy to have you on board. If you like the racing and you want to be a part of it, well, good news, you can be.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag. But unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end, and so shall this. Have a great night, everybody, and most importantly, stay safe out there. Until next time.